Hello, Bio 103 students. We've made it to our final week of the class. If you've made it this far, congratulations. I know this was a very challenging course to get through because, again, we only have 4 weeks to essentially cover 16 weeks worth of material. It was intense. There were a lot of assignments. You had to cover a lot of material in a short amount of time, and I know that was difficult for a lot of you. But for those of you, again, who have made it to this point, well done. You've experienced an accelerated class now, and so in the future, if you choose to take one again, you know what to expect. Or if you decided that this format isn't quite for you, keep in mind that Harper does have a variety of other formats for online courses, including fully 16-week, 8-week, and also even 12-week classes. So again, don't give up on online learning in general if this 4 weeks wasn't quite to your liking. There are certainly other ways that you can approach the content if this was overwhelming. Speaking of content, let's talk about what we have left. So we are here in Module 4. What we've left to cover, our big topics left to talk about, include energy. We're going to be talking about both renewable and non-renewable forms of energy. We're going to be talking about sustainability. So you will learn more about what are the goals. So now that we've sort of covered all of these different problems that we're facing, right? Air pollution, climate change, water pollution, food production. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, right? But as with anything, it's not just enough to talk about the problems. We also want to talk about the solutions, right? So environmental science is a very, very solution-based science. We study what's wrong, but then we also try to figure out what the best path forward is. And a lot of that has to do with this concept of what's called sustainability. So you're going to learn about what sustainability is and what it could look like, and what some actions even that you personally could take to be more sustainable. And then finally, we're going to talk about a little bit about environmental health. And this is a topic that I've included more and more as I've taught this class, especially since COVID came on the scene. This was one of the topics in the past that I might have cut because of time. But because what we saw with the global pandemic, I think it's important for us to realize and understand the relationship between human activities and emerging diseases. This is not something I think will be an isolated event. I don't know that we'll have another COVID-style global pandemic that will necessarily be as devastating as this one was, but don't think for a moment that this can't happen again, because it absolutely can. And so the more we understand, the better we'll be prepared about it. So the last thing we're going to cover is this idea again of how environmental health and diseases are related, and we'll also talk a little bit about toxicology in that as well. So the assignments look the same way as they always do, right? You have assignments due on Friday, including a energy graphic organizer, which is just a way for you to keep all of the renewable and non-renewable energy sources sort of distinct in your mind. You also have what's called an eco footprint calculator, which I think is kind of a fun activity, which helps see your own personal impact on the planet with your normal behaviors. And then if you make some adjustments to those behaviors to see how you can lessen your impact on the planet. So I always like that one. And then last but not least is a disease spread simulator. Kind of like what you saw with a carbon simulator and even the population simulator. This is another one where we take an imaginary disease and we watch how different variables impact its spread. And again, I feel like there's a lot of relevance to what happened with COVID, and maybe it can help you understand some of the decisions that were made early on. When COVID came onto the scene, there were a lot of decisions that were made that seemed very, very drastic, like, essentially almost stay-at-home orders, right? In some countries, we had complete lockdowns and shutdowns, and they really weren't letting people leave. And there's a reason for that, and it has to do with what we call, disease ecology or how diseases spread. So you're going to learn more about that in that simulator, which I think is pretty eye-opening. And then, of course, you have your reflection, right? So this is going to be kind of a whole semester reflection, which again is only 4 weeks, but I want you to think about it, and I want you to think about how the class went, right? What your expectations were walking in, how you did, what you would do differently. Would you ever take a 4-week class again? So just kind of your own reflection on what the process was like. The exam is here with all the study guides. It will once again be available on Wednesday of this week, as will the check-in survey. So again, those are always available the Wednesday of the week. That's about all I have. It's a nice quick video. Again, I know that this was a new learning experience for most of you. Some of you had taken 4-week classes before as part of a program that you're in, and some of you, this was brand new to you. And so any way you look at it, like I said, you should be proud of your accomplishment of making it this far. This isn't easy. It was difficult, and you persevered, and I just want to say, well done. If you have any questions, always feel free to please to reach out to me by email. The class officially ends on Sunday, the 16th of October. I will do my best, depending on when you get your assignments in, to get your grades, final grades, up and posted by the end of the day Sunday or by noon on Monday at the very latest, so that you can sort of see how you finished the semester off. And again, as I mentioned, any questions, please reach out to me. Enjoy the rest of your semester, and good luck, everyone. Bye-bye.